Yeah, we got a lot to talk about today. I want to talk a little bit about DM Slop, because it's just something that's been on my mind. There's something that I'm very passionate about. Yeah, I want to talk about DM Slop. I want to talk about epic spells and magic, because a lot of y'all don't know how good we had it back in the day. A lot of y'all don't recognize how good we had it magic-wise back in the day. If you were a spellcaster, there was no need for combat. There was no need for combat. It was pretty crazy out there. I want to talk about some epic level spells. I also want to talk about Tome of Blood a little bit. It's one of my favorite supplemental books for Dungeons and Dragons. It kind of like teaches you how to be more creative with some of your spells. Yeah, I don't know, just some like fun stuff or whatever. This is like, I just want to start off by saying no shade. I'm just gonna start off by saying this is absolutely no shade on anyone specific. I just wanna yap about it. Because it's something that really bothers me. Dungeons and Dragons, as a dungeon master, you know that it is your job to prepare for your session. What does preparation look like? Okay, new DMs, I'm gonna run you through it. You have to know who is at your table, who your players are as people. What do they like? What are they against? What is something that they can't handle at the table? That's stuff that you need to talk about if you don't know. Session 0, hey, what themes are you guys uncomfortable with? Let's talk about it. Bam, set up an X card. An X card is something that somebody plays and says, hey, I'm not comfortable with this topic, and we stop roleplay immediately. You know, just to kind of like make sure everybody at the table is comfortable and feels heard. Yeah, and that X card can be used anytime, even if you don't preemptive it. It's just available for you, which is how it should be, right? So you need to know who your players are, what their X cards are, what their like no topics are. You need to have a vague idea of what kind of adventure you want to run, right? Now let's talk about the word adventure here for a second. I feel like a lot of people think that what I mean when I say adventure is what maps are my players going to be fighting on, or what dungeons are they going to be going through. No. I want to reiterate this here. What I'm talking about when I say adventure is I want to know, where is the actual adventure? What creatures are they going to run into? What kind of history are they going to learn? What kind of knowledge are they going to gather? People, I fear that people don't understand when they choose to DM that they should be letting their characters leave the table with either the opportunity to learn something new about themselves, about somebody else at the table, or about the story that you're all trying to tell together. You should leave with new information. And not enough DMs do that. And it really fucking bothers me. Mango's here! Ow! Thank you for checking your mail. I know I'm scared you all so intimidating. No, we're not intimidating, surely. What can we do to be less intimidating? I don't know if it's just me, but a no-no for me is having a tennis ball thrown in my face. For me, it's mail being thrown at my face. It's my worst fear. So I am so tired of dungeon masters, cracking open a book and going, I guess I'm just gonna have them like fight at a bridge and there's a bunch of goblins or whatever. Like, it's not good enough. That's okay. For me though, it feels like Dungeon Master slop a lot of times. Not every time, but a lot of times. I don't like this concept that you can sit at a table and a DM doesn't know or care about your backstory, where you came from, what character you're playing, what the scenario is. That's DM Slop to me. DM Slop is a game that you roll up to ill-prepared, not really role-playing, mostly combat or hex crawl initiatives that have like no life or any like curiosity or exploration, adventure involved. Jesus fucking Christ, I'm so, it makes me so mad. It makes me so frustrated because I feel like we're losing this hobby. Do you know what I mean? Phew, I'm glad my DM Slop was at least RP focused sessions for the most part. Yeah, and I should add an affidavit to this and say that, like, affidavit? I don't think that's, addendum. That's the word I'm looking for. I should add an affidavit to this. I should get a lawyer involved in this. I should add an addendum to this by saying, if you're a new DM, obviously there's a lot of credence that I'll give to you, or a lot of like grace I'll give to you because you're figuring it out. Like, if you as a new DM, if your style is I crack open the book and I read the words and we do the thing, I'm okay with that. It's the experienced DMs who take a quote unquote a lot of pride in the craft, and then when they are given the opportunity to apply their craft, show absolutely no pride or creativity in that craft. It frustrates me. I am the type of person who is probably very tightly wound and does stress a lot about my games, because I want to make sure everybody has a good time, and I want to make sure that the story feels like our story that we're telling together. I want my players to leave the table going, oh my god, you won't believe what happened today, and like be so excited. Like, I want to create those memes, those moments that, like, when everybody around the table is talking about their favorite D&D moments of all time, they bring up something from your story. Like, that feels so good to me, to know that I gave those moments to these people. That's all I want. You know what I'm saying? Ow! Thank you for checking your mail. It's like, why would you not want that? And granted, I understand that not every session can be a banger. It's not. I mean, that's just unrealistic. But I feel like a lot of the DM slop sessions come from being ill-prepared. Somebody who says, I don't really care about this, or I don't really have time to plan for this session properly. It means that you're not really like prepared for that, because like, okay, what's a good way to put this? If you end your previous session just starting a combat, right? There's obvious things that you want to prepare to make sure that you're ready for that combat, right? You want to make sure that all of your enemies are in a good spot, and that they're the right DC level. For anybody new who doesn't know what that is, it's the difficulty level of the monsters that you put at the table for they're the bad guys that the PCs are trying to kill, right? Essentially, for lack of a better term. You need to make sure that they're evenly matched, or it's going to be a challenge, or whatever your intent is. Make sure that it's there. And make sure that you know, you have all of your equipment, your dice rollers, your whatever you need. Make sure all that's right. And I feel like that's a lot of times where the preparation ends. What it would be nice to see is if DMs prepared a little bit more options for creativity, in an example like the one I gave. Like, we really got spoiled with Baldur's Gate 3 a little bit. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, when Baldur's Gate 3 did the whole, like, you're in an environment and there's a bunch of stuff that you can interact with. Like, you can throw this brazier at somebody and, like, blind them. Or, like, you can blow them off a ledge into a spider pit. That shit is interesting. And I feel like, for us as DMs, this is how we descend into DM slop. Because when we're really excited about our adventure, we set our PCs up for success with the abilities to do these things, and then they don't do them, and we're like, oh, what a wasted opportunity, that sucks. And then it kind of like deflates us a little into thinking like, why bother, the PCs don't care. So I get that, but I feel like the opportunities still like need to be given. Ow! Thank you so much for checking your mail. Because like, but yeah, Baldur's Gate really spoiled us, giving us those options, and I dare say I'm a little inspired. I'm like, why don't we do that more often? Why don't we as Dungeon Masters put more on the map for people to interact with? And like, when PCs haven't thought about their turn, why don't we just sit there in silence? Why don't we give them their options? Why don't we just do that? You know? So easy. So like, this idea of rotating DMs who are like barely know your name when you sit down at the table, and you guys do a hex crawl and there's no creativity attached to it, there's no heart. It makes me throw up in my mouth a little bit. I'm like, this is a really important hobby. It's like the way that we keep oral storytelling alive in a way. Like it has such huge cultural roots, but also like it's a safe haven for a lot of us. Like, I talk a lot about being a queer person, and being queer in these spaces feels very safe for a lot of us. And we talked about this too on stream before, like trans people feeling safe role playing as who they want to be. on their tabletop games before they like commit, and like figuring things out about yourself. It's all about psychology and building relationships with your friends and teamwork and telling a great story along the way that people will remember forever. And here's the thing. What I want to clarify too. DM Slop does not include games that are like comedy based, right? So if your game doesn't have like a real plot and it's just like, it's there to make people laugh, the audience laugh, I'm okay with that. That doesn't feel DM Slop to me at all. Like Tales of Adventurous, don't consider that DM Slop at all. I think it's quality entertainment. Sometimes I'm not in the mood for Adventurous at all, because I want a serious RP, but I know where to go for that. But that doesn't make that DM Slop. Does that make sense? I hope that this makes sense. I don't know. What do you guys think? I feel like I've just been yapping a lot. Okay, Argus, be safe. Sometimes I'm really afraid of coming off as like pretentious because I care about this hobby a lot and I'm always like bitching about the hobby. But like, when you've dungeon mastered for like a certain amount of time, you just kind of become numb. It's hard to shake off. And at those points, I think it's important to take a break and find something that really makes you passionate and tell that story next when you're ready. You can totally get burnout as a DM. It's very possible. Because I had a bad first experience with D&D at GameStop the exact same way you were describing. What was that? What was that situation, Manti? If you feel comfortable sharing with the class. It was a card shop I went to often to play Magic during high school. One of the guys asked us if we wanted to hop in for a D&D session. So I was like, oh, fuck yeah. And then we got there. I felt super rushed making my character. And the first combat experience was almost all new players died and the DM just kind of laughed it off. It was shite. That makes me so fucking mad. What a shitty way to give somebody a first experience about Dungeons and Dragons. Like, okay, imagine it was anything else. Imagine you were shy and you went to a karate class for the first time to like learn self-defense. And your tutor's like, oh yeah, sure. Like, let's learn karate together. And he fucking unleashes hell upon you and breaks your arm and then laughs at you. That's unacceptable. What the fuck are you doing? Some people should be banned from playing Dungeon Masters. Thankfully, a high school bud got me back into it. It was a wonderful DM. I miss playing his sessions. That's really cool. That's really cool. That's really, really good to hear. Yeah, man, I'm saying, like, some people... Isn't the idea that you want people to play Dungeons and Dragons with you? So why would you dissuade them by giving them a fuck-ass experience? Why would you want to do that? It's not fun for anyone else. Hello? Jesus fucking Christ. So yeah, there's DM Slop. There's bad DMs. Oh, God. Okay. Some people want to tell a story that is just an accumulation of the media that they've ingested, and they want to regurgitate that on new people who have never experienced it. I understand that. But it is nice to have an original experience, even if it's not S tier. Do you know what I'm saying? I would rather take your first ever campaign that needs polish, needs work, over anything that I've seen 100 million times people trying to be Brennan Lee Mulligan. Do you know what I'm saying? Give me the fresh, give me that fresh good. Please give me that fresh good. Some people view being as DM as something else. Exactly.